faster than the general population. And they have the highest rate for heart disease, cardiovascular disease, cancer, all that bad stuff. The people that are in charge of saving our lives actually get hit the most based on the circadian rhythm. So if you're trying to go against this energy flow in the morning and at night based on how our energy flows go, it's basically a battle that you can't win. So this is genetically how we're meant to go. So just keep in mind that in the morning that there should be some rise in cortisol, and then we kind of drift down and then go on and kind of doze off in the night, and then there's another rise. So this is ideal, right? But what happens in reality? So what happens in reality is that we're here, we wake up, we feel super sluggish, you don't feel like you're out of bed, the alarm clock goes off, you hit snooze again, and then you get out of bed, you kind of roll out of bed, do your hair, makeup, whatever it is, you grab your coffee, you don't drink your water. I'm not saying that you guys, but I'm just saying from personal stories I heard. So no water in the morning, just get out of bed, man, I need my coffee, get that coffee. You don't get energized until you get your coffee. Then you eat your breakfast on the way to work, or on the train, or in the car, or maybe you even eat your breakfast at work, or you wait till like the mid AM to eat your breakfast. And then what happens in a functional medicine term is that you get wired and tired at night. So when your body's supposed to be resting and repairing and growing, you're laying in bed and you're like, oh my God, I can't sleep, and you're just sitting there. And you're tired, but you're also wired. And then the whole energy system just gets screwed up, right? So actually, like, nowadays, what I've seen most times is this is actually flipped over, where we wake up super, super tired, and then we go to bed wired and tired. And we have a hard time sleeping, and then those sleep disturbances and those sleep imbalances mess up the whole rest of the day. So there's a lot of lifestyle consultation, nutritional consultation, exercise programs to combat that. If you guys have any questions based on this, just let me know. This is kind of a good way to think based on your energy levels. All right, so just real quick, what I thought would be kind of cool to get into, some considerations for early morning workouts, PM workouts for busy people, and then someone for like myself who works out right in the afternoon. So early AM workouts, what comes to mind first is fast digestion. So we don't want to be digesting anything while we're doing butterfly pull-ups and snatches and whatever it is. So we want to be able to use our blood and our fuel for energy for the workout. So something that's going to slow digestion down. Something that's going to slow digestion down is high fiber, bigger meals, and a lot of fat. So basically, in the morning, fasted cardio. I don't know if you guys ever have, if you guys done the workouts in the morning. You do a fasted, which basically means you go X hours without eating. The best thing to do for that is just some light to moderate intensity aerobic training. Now, I know you guys don't have control of your programs, but you can manipulate your workouts, your CrossFit workouts here, or I do with my clients, based on that morning time. And there's a lot of good evidence with fasted aerobic training that works really well for fat burning.
So I'm just going to add to that. So if we're going to speak specifically towards fat burning, if you guys are looking to burn fat, even people that have decent muscle and they're like, oh, I just want to shed and tone, the best time to burn fat, number one, is to have your heart rate below 120. That's when your body's burning fat. Anything beyond that, your body's burning, your carbs or whatever. Okay. Also, but when you're in a fasted state, when you come in here at 5:30 in the morning in a fasted state, boys, your body is pulling for your energy. Your body's pulling your body fat to use for energy. So if you're looking to lose body fat, honestly, the best way to do it is to come in first thing in the morning, work out in a fasted state.
So I'm hearing two different things though when it comes to the high intensity burning fat, and it's I try to sustain a good pace run so I can keep my heart rate at a specific rate so that I can consistently keep burning fat while I run.
Yes.
Then on the retrospect, I'm being told that, okay, well, you have to have high intensity intervals,
right?
But then past that, my heart rate's 140.
Right.
So can I do the high intensity intervals on fasted to burn the same amount of fat as I would do a 6 mile run?
Yeah.
at my heart rate at 120.
The only thing you'll notice, it's funny, like teaching like the early morning classes opposed to teaching like a 10 a.m. class, you see your energy levels. Like I see you guys come in here and you're exhausted like through the workout. Then I see the 10 a.m. people that come in here and they're like ready to go, you know? And it's because, you know, they've eaten, they've woken up, they've eaten, you know, whatever. But to answer your question, again, just back to the basics, the high intensity of tricking your heart rate to go up and down, yes, that's good. But if for just like fat burning, like you'll see a lot of bodybuilders out there that will like sit on like a bike with like a hood over their head and they're just like pedaling away for an hour at a slow rate because they're just, all they want to do is just burn fat. That's all they want to do.
That's the best way to do it. And not like bodybuilders are bad or machines are bad or anything, it's just the science behind bodybuilding is proven and it's effective. So when you do high intensity training, your just primary source of energy you're using is carbohydrates and not fat. Strength training, just kind of a consideration in the morning. So we're doing a strength training workout, heavy deadlifts, heavy back squats. There's a lot of compression on the spine. So if you ever notice in the morning with the low blood flow and just kind of like getting your body up and running and start drinking water, that your spine is really compressed. You might find it like kind of hard in the morning or like a little stiff to move your body around, and then throughout the day, as you drink water and your spine decompresses, you get some fluid in your spine, and you can kind of, you know, start moving around a little bit better. So if you're dehydrated going into a heavy back squat workout, there may be some spinal issues going on based on the compression of your spine. So waking up in the morning just knowing that your spine is compressed and it decompresses throughout the day, feel like a little bit easier to move on. Doing some heavy deadlifts, heavy back squats, just be aware of that spine, right? So for some back injuries. So if you're worried about your blood sugars, primarily I would say that there's probably enough fuel within what you ate the night before or what you ate yesterday to get you through the workout. But if you are if it's just kind of something in your head and you feel like you need to eat, then you want to eat something that's fast and that's going to be digested fast. A good thing that I use is banana and some nut butter. So the fructose, quick sugar in the banana, a little bit of fats in the nut butter, about 30 to 40 minutes prior to your workout. So the closer you get to your workout, the less you want to have, the further away, the more you can get. Or something like an RX bar. We do sell RX bars here for $4. Everybody wants them.
I brought some, if you guys want to take one.
There you go. So an example here, you wake up, 8 ounces of room temperature of water. You have some branched chain amino acids, a little bit of coffee. Coffee is actually really good once high quality coffee, not Dunkin' Donuts crappy coffee. High quality coffee, 30 minutes to your workout. It can be a good ergogenic effect that has been studied and proved effective based on getting your energy and your adrenaline up a little bit. So after your workout, allow your central nervous system to take a breather. That's based on what type of workouts you do. So if you have a workout and like your hands are shaking and like you can't see straight, then maybe it's not the best time to eat your breakfast. So you just want to let your nervous system relax a little bit. So then within 30 minutes after your workout, you want to sit down. If you can, go home, sit down, and have your breakfast. If you can cook it, that's good. While you're cooking, smell, because the digestion starts with your nose, so smell and your mouth will start to create the saliva and then break that down. Or if you don't have time for that, within that post-workout window, just know that the fuel you take in within the 30 to 45 minutes in that post-workout window is going to fuel you for your next training session. So a quick protein shake, and then if you need to get going on the train, go home, change, whatever it is, and then once you get to work, ideally if you could sit down, even just if you have to microwave your food, just something to heat it up, and then sit down, chew, and digest your breakfast. If you're relying on exercise for energy, then there may be a blood sugar management issue. You want to go into your workout energized, and once again, this is different for performance-based athletes. All right. So if you're kind of like sluggish during the day or in the morning, and you're like, man, I need exercise to get me up, then there's something that's going on, that's something that nutritionally or lifestyle that you need to fix. So you want exercise to kind of complement your energy. So you want to go into your workout feeling energized. You don't want to go into your workout feeling like crap and relying on exercise to get your cortisol or your serotonin, your happy levels up. So think about kind of like how you feel going into workouts. That you should be energized going into workouts. And also after you leave the workouts, you should feel good too because you're there for health and performance. Sometimes that can be an adrenal issue if your adrenals are just completely shot and you've just been wiping yourself out with like crazy workouts. Adrenals can also be shot by just stress in your body, work stress, family stress, financial stress. Whatever it is that stresses you out, your adrenals can be shot from that. What I found that works pretty good is taking some sea salt in the morning, and that will actually rise your cortisol levels and help with some adrenal fatigue. And also if you have a hard time going to the bathroom, the sea salt will help flush you out as well too.
So you take it with your water?
What's that?
You take it with your water? You take it with your water?
With water, yeah. Just like a pinch of sea salt. PM workouts, so we're thinking like 5:30, 6:30, 7:30 p.m., relatively based on what time you go to bed. You want to be careful of how much food goes into the post-workout window. So the goal is faster digestion, so less fat, less fiber, and smaller portion meals. So we don't want to be digesting your food while you're trying to sleep. So the priority here is sleep, good quality sleep, and not your body trying to break down food while you're sleeping. So if you're breaking down food while you're sleeping, then it can interfere with the quality of your sleep. So leaner protein, simple carbs, and lower fats. And that's what's going to help with faster digestion. And then keep in mind circadian rhythm, you want to make sure you're sleeping well, and you want to make sure you're hungry in the morning. So sometimes if you're not hungry in the morning, that can also be something from the night from what you ate the night before. Your body can still kind of be digesting what you ate.
Can you give an example of like an ideal meal? Like should it be like chicken and a vegetable and that's it, or?
We're almost there.
Oh, okay.
Yes. A nighttime meal?
Yeah, after a workout.
After your workout? So after your workout, you want something that's going to get digested fast. Veggies are good. I'm not saying it's not a healthy, unhealthy thing. It's just veggies are going to take a lot longer to digest in your body. So if you're taking down a ton of veggies, then just know that it's going to take longer to digest, and especially if it's raw. So if you were going to go with the veggies, and the number one prescription for people who are stressed out and want to do CrossFit is to cook their food. So especially with something like veggies, once you start cooking your food and cooking your veggies, that it's going to start breaking down, and then once you eat it, it's going to be easier for your body to break down. So just know like raw veggies, it's going to take a long time for your body to digest. And like I said, it's not a healthy, unhealthy thing. It's just heating your food. But making sure you're not heating your food too much because then you can lose some nutrients.
Don't they lose nutrition when you cook them though?
What's that?
Yeah, veggies. When you cook veggies, they lose a lot
If you
of nutrition.
overcook them.
Yeah.
Like if you cook a veggie and it's soggy,
99%
Yeah.
of people do.
You just want to like a little bit of warmth. If you cook your veggies a little bit, it will help it will start breaking down some of the stuff that's harder for your body to digest. So if you're like stressed out and you're adding more stress within a CrossFit workout, the last thing you want to do is try to put more stress on your digestive system. Considerations for a busy person, I think more within my clients was executives and business people, that live a crazy busy life or commute to New York City and you just constantly on the go. Digestion is very, very important. Control the key meals during the week. So I like to use the 80-20% rule. So if you think 3 meals a day for 7 days a week, that's 21 meals a week. So if 80% of that time you have 17 meals, those are good, clean meals. And then 4 of those meals you can cheat or go off a little bit. And then work your way up from 85, so then 18 meals good, 3 meals bad, and then 90-10. So 19 of those meals good, and 2 of those meals bad. You can use like a Sunday as like a refeed or a cheat day. And that's kind of been like a simple kind of way to start thinking about, oh, is this a good meal or is this a bad meal? It worked for me personally, it worked for some of my clients. 90-10 is ideal. I never expect or want to see 95 or 100% compliance because it's just not realistic and it's not sustainable. But I think somewhere between 80 to 90% is good. And then 20 to 10% cheating. So what you do have control of for most people who are busy is the morning. If they don't have time in the morning, then you just have to wake up earlier and go to sleep earlier. So they can usually get a good quality breakfast where they can cook and they can smell and they can sit down and they can digest. And also for dinner, when they come home, there's another opportunity there to get a good quality digestible food. And then on the weekends as well, to have home cooked, good quality food. And then kind of in the middle with work and whatever it is going on, just some snacks and just something to keep their energy system going. What worked really well for some of my clients is big feeding windows, like a big breakfast and a big dinner, kind of like and almost like not a fast, but almost like a somewhat of a fast during the day. And their energy levels were able to sustain. And when you're thinking for a busy person, you want mental acuity and awareness, and you want to be in check of what you're doing.
Sorry, just an FYI, your biggest meal should be after you work out.
Yeah.
After you work
Yeah.
out. So that's when your body needs it the most. That's where it's gonna take it. That's when your metabolism is running the fastest, you know? So your biggest meal of your day should be based upon when you work out. So like Chris and Jen, you guys work out 5:30 in the morning. You guys should go home and eat a, hearty breakfast, because that's when your body needs it the most.
So for someone like me who works out at night,
Yes.
and then I don't get home probably until around like 9. It's like I can't eat dinner at 9 o'clock and have a massive. So even if I am eating lean protein and fewer veggies and like a little bit more fat with my protein, I wake up the next morning and I feel like shit. I feel sluggish.
Go
I
to
feel so
sleep
heavy.
right after you eat.
No.
When you
I try to not lay down the second I'm done eating because I don't like the way it feels. So like I'll wait 45 minutes, an hour before I like actually lay down and go to sleep. And the next morning I wake up and I'm like, I have a harder time waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I ate that late. So it's like either I'm depriving my body, like I don't have any other time where I could work out. So it's like nighttime is my priority to work out.
Well, if you're waking, and I mean, again, I can talk separately, but if you're waking up feeling like shit after whatever you're eating, after you're working out, it might be something that you're eating that's making you waking up feeling like that. Because for years, I didn't eat dinner till 9 o'clock at night either, and it was always my biggest meal of the day, and I would always wake up feeling great. But again, we all function differently, and we're all different, but that's just based upon how your body works, how things break down, your biggest meal of your day should really be based upon after your workout.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then your smallest meals go before your workout. So after you work out, biggest meals, and then even like the PM that you were saying, like you want to consider that post-workout window, but also your sleeping as well too. So sometimes it just maybe like a protein shake and like some white rice or like a quick carb, and then having your breakfast like as your big meal. And also, meal prep is a very important thing for people who are busy. So I like to use like Sunday afternoons as like a chance to just like buy everything, just meal prep, whether it takes an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. When you first start with meal prepping, it's going to take a really long time. But as you get used to meal prepping, you'll be able to kind of condense your time a lot and better be prepared for the week ahead of you. So if you're better prepared for the week, then you're gonna set yourself up for much more success. If you don't have time for it, or it's not a high enough priority, then I would suggest paying somebody to meal prep for you.
See, I'm gonna add to that. There's always time to meal prep.
It's
We
not.
can talk about it. We gotta keep going. We've been here forever. We can talk about this separately, but there's always time.
And then consideration for multiple workouts. If you're doing A and PM workouts, it's kind of more like performance-based. Post-workout shake, just use it for your more high-intensity workout. You don't want to keep messing up your gut over a long period by shutting down 2 or 3 protein shakes during the day because there is sugar in it. Need fuel for fast digestion, so you want to limit the raw veggies, the stuff that's going to take a long time, and then kind of use that towards the end of the day. Practice what your competition day nutrition will be like. If you're competing, then on the day of competition, don't change up your diet completely. Don't start chugging like Revel. I've had a really, really bad experience with this. So just whatever it is, even if it's crappy, on your day, if you guys do competitions or anything else, just do what you're used to and then experiment with something else.
So that's where carb loading would come in, just an FYI.
Yeah. So be cautious of raw veggies. But basically what you want is high nutrient turnover that your body's going to use for fuel, and you're going to spend less time digesting, you have more energy for your workouts. So if you're digesting food and you're doing a high intensity workout, your body's #1 priority is to digest your food and not get those kipping pull-ups done. It's gonna be like, no, dude. You can't out-trick your body. Like if you try to create a false sense of adrenaline based on working out, it's not gonna happen. But if you need to save your child under a car, you can lift up 300, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, and have that adrenaline, real adrenaline, not induced exercise adrenaline, to try to get a Fran under 3 minutes. Cleanse, deload, periodize. It's kind of like a further topic. I do believe in cleansing based on high intensity, long sustained workouts. CrossFit gained athletes usually have like a week or two where they cleanse and take complete time off of working out. Okay, my meal plan. This is my ideal meal plan. I don't stick to it every day, but when I do, I feel awesome. This is kind of the in between the morning and the afternoon. And this is right in the middle when I work out, 2:30 to 4 o'clock p.m. based on my goals, my work schedule, and based on my workouts. So my goals is to maintain my strength and conditioning, have the ability to turn it back on within a few months, and that is relative to where I want to be personally and where I want to be within my competition. So the longer I wait on that, the harder it is going to be. But those are the goals. To turn it back on is all relative. Vibrance, mental acuity, energy for the day are one of my higher priorities now as opposed to competing. So I want to have energy for my clients and be mentally acute and not feel like crap while I'm trying to be a personal trainer and preach people on health and fitness. In the morning, I'm a big believer for myself. It's meats and nuts in the morning. And I alternate the veggies. The meats and nuts provide a long energy boost for me and sustainable blood sugar throughout the day. And then at 8 a.m. will be my second breakfast. I'll have eggs, some type of fat source, carbs, and other veggies. And then from 8 a.m. to 2:30, it's almost a semi-fast. So I have an RX bar, perfect bar, something I can eat real quick. I know it's not good digestion protocols, but it is better than eating nothing. 2 o'clock, something quick, a fruit, apple, banana, a little bit of nut butter. That's kind of like my pre-workout. I work out, 4:15, post-workout shake. 5 p.m. is my dinner, and I save my heavy carbs, so like my gluten-free pasta, white rice, whatever it is, for the dinner. Part of that is also the melatonin effect too. The melatonin effect will kind of draw you down and make you sleepy, and this sets me up for my for my sleep. And then at 8 p.m. Greek yogurt if I need it. The dairy is kind of like a slower digestion, casein, protein. And then within this, 3,000 calories, 300 grams of carbs, 220 grams of protein, and 100 grams of fat. That's me and that's performance.
When you talk about me, it's a little more realistic here. 3,000 calories a day. All right, so my meal plan is based upon my goals, right? So I follow the 40-30-30. My goals in life at this point in my life is just energy, alertness. I want to maintain lean muscle mass and my overall health. That's all I care about at this point in my life. I'm not competing in competitions, like, you know, just day to day, okay? So what I eat, I'm pretty routine. I pretty much eat kind of the same thing every day. So for breakfast, I have my eggs. I use my fat with breakfast. I use olive oil, so I cook my eggs in the olive oil. I have three-quarters of a cup of that Ezekiel granola that I was telling you guys about earlier for my complex carbs. I drink that with some almond milk. And I come in here and Julie kicks my ass every day, right, around 10 a.m. Again, my workout window varies too, but usually like around 10 a.m. From here, I eat a banana straight from here. Bananas are really great after you work out. They're full of your carbs, your sugars, you know, it balances your sugar levels again, your insulin levels, and some almonds. For lunch, I mean, lunch is kind of, it varies every day, but just to give you an example is just, I eat chicken, I eat a cup of vegetables, I eat a cup of wild rice. I love black rice, wild rice. There's a lot of nutrients in black raw rice. And again, for my fat, I go with olive oil. For my afternoon snack, this varies because I have a crazy schedule. I'm running all over the place, but in a perfect world, you know, I just eat plain Greek yogurt with a splash of cinnamon, sometimes some honey, or I'll grab an RX bar. I also love rice cakes with like natural peanut butter. I love that stuff too for my snack. For dinner, so the way that I do my food is I like to always have some sort of fish. Like I do an animal product and then I do some sort of fish at night. I like to eat fish at night because animal products, unfortunately, it's very hard for our bodies to break those down and digest them. So if you eat lighter at night, you might not wake up feeling like shit. I don't know what you're eating, but so for me, I choose fish, right? So it could be any type of fish. I love all whitefish, shrimp, whatever, you know. So I have the same idea with my lunch as I do my fish, my veggies, and here I'll incorporate my avocado, you know, I'll get more fancy, I'll make guacamole, you know, whatever, tomatoes, whatever. And then at night, if I feel necessary that I want to eat something, or if I'm craving something sweet, I go to berries. Berries are very good for you in a lot of ways. Number one, they're really low in sugar, and they're loaded with antioxidants, which antioxidants is what fights inflammation, which is what I'll get into quickly next. So my breakdown here is my calories. I ate about 17